reminder, when we're done, the players will be up on the second floor. Dog walk this week will be at 4 o'clock p.m. And a reminder, no live streaming. Coach Smart will have a few opening remarks, and then we'll take your questions.
So, thanks for coming out, guys. We're really excited. We got started kind of on Friday for these guys. It's a very culture, history-rich program. They've done a tremendous job in their transition into what I call major college football. Coach Satterfield, I've known for a while, he does a super job with his team. I think the first thing that jumps out on the screen is their speed. They've got a lot of speed, especially on the defensive front. They create some different kind of mismatches. We're excited for the opportunity, looking forward to a great game. We need all the fans to come out for the 4 o'clock dog walk. We certainly need everybody there and need a lot of crowd noise. And we're excited about where the team is right now, and a lot of these guys are itching, getting ready to play. And good news is we still got 4 or 5 practices to clean some things up. And we work Saturday on these guys as well. So I know the players are excited. They respect App State, the history of the program. The teams they played last year, they played really well, and they do a tremendous job. The Sun Belt Conference as a whole, to me, has gotten better and better each year. And these guys are the leaders of that conference. So with that, I'll open it up.
If you raise your hand, we get a floor microphone to you.
Kirby, is this a team that likes to shorten a game if they can? I mean, if Taylor Lamb's got it going and they control the ball, does that, and in turn, is this one of those games that could reduce the number of possessions you have and put more pressure on your offense?
Well, I think anytime you play an opponent, they have their strategies. I think different games, they've done different things. They've gone hurry up at times. And sometimes that's what people want to do, is try to tempo you. Other games, they've been more methodical, and they run the ball. They run the ball really well. Their offensive line is tough and nasty. They do a great job with their zone schemes. They're really quick, fast guys. They got a great back. So with that thought, if they can run the ball, then it allows the clock to run, but they're playing to their strength, which is so far has been their defense. They've got 7 returning starters on defense that the first thing you see when you turn tape on is wow. Because they can fly in defense. I knew it last year when I was watching the Tennessee team play them, because I had to watch that side of the ball. It is incredible. So they play to their strengths, and sometimes they play to shorten it, sometimes they don't. But they do a great job managing the game.
Kirby, I know it was 10 years ago when App State beat Michigan. You were obviously worried about your own team at the time, but what do you think that kind of win, what kind of mark did it leave on college football? Did it change things about it? When a team that was an FCS opponent, came in and defeated one of the historical programs of college football? Yeah,
I remember the games. I remember the block kick. I think number one, it helped them recruit probably on a little bit more. I wouldn't say nationally, but just even more than just regionally. They were able to go out and get players from Florida because of that game and getting great exposure. A lot of great players in that game for App State, just like this team here has. They've got some really talented guys that are fast, and those guys, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for them. You have to understand their want and desire can't be more than your want and desire. And that's really what this game comes down to, is who can get off the block and who can block. And they do those things well.
Is Malcolm Parrish out of this game, and do you know what your starting secondary looks like at this point?
Still not determined yet. We're fighting to get Malcolm back. Don't know if he's going to make it back or not, but we're trying to get him back for this game. And the start secondary will probably be determined throughout the week based on that. And a couple other guys that are in good position battles. So it'll be close, probably game time decision at some of those spots in the secondary.
Kirby, 2-part question on special teams. Number one, have you decided on how place kicker will be handled? And number 2, special teams as a whole, how much will that be helped by the depth of this year's team, being able to use some freshmen that obviously won't be starting right away?
Yeah, we definitely have more depth on special teams. I think there's been a much greater emphasis on the competition. So if a guy's a 2 here and a 1 here, who's going to beat who out by what they do in practice to earn that kickoff job, that return job, that hold-up job, whatever your job is. Those guys have competed really hard. And I think the depth of the numbers on our team has probably helped more in that area than anywhere on the team. I just hope it comes to fruition Saturday night, because a lot of those freshmen got to go out and make plays in their first college football game. And I think back to last year's game in the Dome, there were some freshmen, Nada and Riley, and some guys that had to go play on special teams that had never played a snap. So you always wonder how they're going to respond in those moments, but they've got a lot of work on those. And then to your PAT field goal kicking question, that hasn't been determined yet. We think it'll be decided here shortly, though.
Touched on Lamb just a little bit a second ago. What does he do to really keep this offense going? And then how much does he rely on Evans and Moore?
Yeah, he does a great job. Number one, he's a lot better athlete than you give him credit for. They run a lot of zone read schemes. They've got the ability to run option, which he's done. He can take the ball, pull it, make plays. I mean, every game you see, he's made yards with his legs, whether that's by scramble or that's by design runs. He does a great job of both those things. He puts them in the right play. You know, he sees looks and puts them in certain plays they want to be in. And he knows the looks that are right for the different plays. And that makes it hard as a coordinator to defend when Coach Tucker's calling it and he's saying, okay, I want to be in this. And the quarterback puts them in the perfect play for that. That can be frustrating, but you got to be patient. You got to be smart. You got to contain him. But he's a fourth-year quarterback. I think anytime you're playing a guy like that, he's not going to make many mistakes.
Coach, kind of piggybacking off that question, I mean, after watching some tape, I mean, what type of challenges does Jalen present?
Well, he's very talented running back. I mean, when you watch him, their scheme fits his style of running to a T because they do a great job with their zone scheme. They can reach anybody on any technique. They do a tremendous job. You can see their offensive line's quickness and get off to get people blocked. Now, the back makes him right a lot because he'll wind it back, he'll cut back, the ball can hit anywhere. He runs a great pad level. He catches the ball out of the backfield really well. He's a very good, he's an SEC back. So he does a tremendous job, and our guys have obviously got to hit and tackle some pretty good backs on our team, and that's what we challenge them with. This guy's just like the guys that you go against in practice every day. So you got to go out there and hit him and wrap him up and knock him back. But they have a great scheme for their back and their quarterback.
Coach, what's your history and relationship with the Lamb family?
Yeah, you know, Coach Lamb and I go way back. He was very good to me when I was here as a player. He was the director of kind of football relations. And I spoke the other night at the Athens Touchdown Club, and I think they were giving a throwback kind of award to Ray Lamb, who's been a tremendous person, asset for this state, promoter of high school football, good friend of my dad's, and then Bobby and Hal, with all they've done, have been tremendous coaches. You know, winning state championships in the state, both Bobby at Furman and at Mercer. So it's a great family. They're great people, and you know, I'm betting that Taylor's probably going to go into some kind of coaching himself whenever his career comes to a close, and I know he'll be a really successful one. So I know they're excited about this opportunity for him to come back to his home state and play at the University of Georgia.
And coaches are Riley Ridley or Elijah Holyfield under any kind of suspension or discipline for this game, or is there any others that are going to miss the
both
game?
those guys, discipline will be handled internally.
Does that include playing time?
Right, that'll be handled internally.
Coach, oftentimes you guys come in, crack of dawn, leave really late at night. You don't have time to kind of see what's going on around the world. Surely you've seen what's happening in Houston.
Yeah.
Can you put into perspective, it's the first week of college football, but there's still awful things happening down there.
Yeah, it's really sad. I've got a good friend, and one of my best friends from high school lives there with his family and kids, and I've been in touch with him, and we've recruited that area a lot. We had a lot of kids play, you know, University of Alabama, from DeAndre White to Bo Smith, that were from that area. So our thoughts and prayers are with the city of Houston, state of Texas, and some tough times, and it does put in perspective what we're talking about here and what we're talking about today with the things going on.
Coach, a season ago you were preparing for the first time as your first game against North Carolina, and obviously that went well for y'all, but a season later, is there anything y'all are doing differently as a coaching staff to maybe prepare the team for the first game?
Well, I think anytime you do it, you have a checklist for your first game, things that could come up, that haven't come up throughout the year. So you go through that checklist. When you say something differently, the biggest thing for us is a different opponent. It's in a different venue, it's in a different place, a little different time. So you factor into all those things. Weather conditions could be different than obviously the Dome. So we're going through our checklist. We're executing everything we've done in the past to make sure that we've got every situation that could come up covered. But as you well know, sometimes the unexpected can happen. So the biggest thing for us is being prepared for that.
Did you guys learn any more about right tackle in terms of, has anyone emerged as your starter there? And the rest of the line, what's your thoughts? How you feel about them, game week?
Yeah, I think those guys continue to work hard. We're rolling guys. I think in the first game, one of the biggest concerns you have as a coach is conditioning from the standpoint of how many guys can play every snap. Can those 5 guys be the guys that play every snap, or do we need to plan on having a rotation built in like we did last year? We kind of had a rotation going to guard. You can see a similar thing there at tackle. It depends on the ebb and flow of the game and how things are going. Because I think both guys at tackle have different strengths. The 3 guards all have different strengths. And to be honest, this is a different kind of team defensively. They are as quick and as fast as we'll play all year. Believe it or not, they are. They're as quick and as fast as we'll play all year. They're not overly big, but they are unbelievably quick, and they do some different things scheme-wise than what you normally see. So I think that it may fit one lineman better than another, and you may see rotations in there. As far as having it set, we haven't just determined that a lot of it will come out in the next 2 days.
Kirby, do you have a plan for Jake Fromm, trying to get him some game action, get his feet wet at a determined time?
Yeah, there's no set plan there. Again, Jacob Eason's our quarterback. If the opportunity presents itself to play Jake Fromm, then we would do that. If something happens to Jacob Eason, then obviously we'd be ready to play Jake Fromm. He's been working as our number 2 quarterback, but it's not like we've got a set design plan. And we talked about that with him. It's going to be, we'll play our offense, run our offense, and if it presents itself, then it presents itself, but it's not something that's set in stone.
Can you just talk, I know you touched on it a couple of times during camp, and especially when he was absent, but just the value of Isaiah Wynn, especially in a position group where you've got a lot of new starters coming into a season like this?
Biggest thing is leadership. He's the one guy that's not afraid to demand and confront guys on the offensive line. If things aren't going well, he'll confront them. He practices really hard. He's extremely physical. The time we didn't have him, it was frustrating, but he has been back, and he's been a great leader. He's the kind of the bell cow of that group. And we certainly expect him to play that way, and he's done it in his career here. He's always played really with the kind of physical toughness you need to play with. He's always done that.
In a new job, you have to get comfortable as days, months, years go on. Can you go back to last year at this time and tell me how more comfortable you are now?
Yeah, it's hard to measure. I can't quantify it for you by a number or a measure. I certainly haven't played however many games, 13 games, it makes you much more comfortable coming into the season as opposed to the first one, but I don't know exactly how much more.
Hands up in the back.
Sorry. Hey, Kirby, you just mentioned Isaiah Wynn as a guy who's not afraid to, tell his teammates when he sees something wrong. I remember you saying that about Roquan Smith in the offseason. What sparks that in guys? Is it age? Is it experience? What brings that out in players?
Hopefully we bring it out, because we've tried to make that, very important that the leadership from within has much more value than the leadership from above. And I think they've bought into that. A lot of the guys aren't afraid to do that. And it's easy to do when you do things right yourself. Guys that don't practice hard or don't do things exactly the right way, it's much tougher on them to confront and demand. But Roquan's a guy that lays it out there, every day. He gives you a great effort, so he doesn't mind challenging the guy next to him to do the same. And it's the same way with Isaiah. The more guys you've got like that, I think the better team you can have.
After Nick and Sonny, how much of a clear pecking order do you see at running back with some of the options you have out there?
You know, I think each guy brings something different. I think Elijah's a tough downhill runner. He does a really good job with the things he does, and he's going to be a special teams player for us too. Brian's the same way. Brian's more elusive, a little more space guy that can do some things and different packages for those guys. And then DeAndre Swiftstone, he can do a lot of different things in camp. So I don't think there is a clear pecking order per se for those three guys. I certainly love the fact that they bought into the team concept, and it's not total number of carries, it's making sure that the carries they get they're effective with, and that they play good on special teams. And that's where when you find a 210-pound guy that can run, they're hard to block usually in special teams.
Coach, you kept talking about in preseason, you know, wanting to see some things from your defense. It's gotten talked about pretty good in the offseason. You know, 5 weeks into the preseason camp, getting ready for the opener, have you seen them respond, and do you feel like they can be the force that a lot of people anticipate?
Well, I don't know what everybody else is anticipating, the force that we can anticipate from them. I thought last year we played okay on defense. We didn't play great. I think this year we need to play better, and we need to play with a little more demeanor, attitude. I've seen some of that in camp. I think they've done a good job changing some things up. We've tried to look at some things differently that we can do in the red area, and from giving people negative plays and trying to be more aggressive. And I think they've worked on that, and they've shown flashes. I think the big thing for us is how many guys can we play and be effective? How deep can we go? Because after the first 11, when it starts getting tougher and tougher on defense for us is how many guys are going to be able to go out there and play winning football at every position. Because we would like to play a lot of guys. I think you can be a good defensive unit when you're fresh and you're running around and flying around.
2 more questions, please. You mentioned a few days ago, about some wide receivers being what I think you call core players on special teams. How unusual is that? And are there a couple that you can talk about and what kind of roles they'll have?
Yeah, it's not unusual, to be honest. I mean, when you think about wide receivers, you want them to have size, you want them to have speed. What is the number one thing for special teams? Size and speed. What they lack sometimes may be the toughness or the ability to tackle. And the group we've got right now, they've proven they can help on that. I think Jason Stanley jumps out. He's fast. He's got good size. He's not historically been a tackler because he didn't play defense, but we work on those things for the receivers. We get those guys in drills and we ask them to do it. I think Mark Webb's the guy that can help on the standpoint of special teams. Chigbu has proven that he can do it as well and stand out doing it. So Terry may end up being one of the returners. So when you put all those guys in the room and you say there's 10 to 11, Tyler Simmons is another one, size, speed guy. So we're excited about that unit from a special team standpoint. I'm expecting them to play really well and hopefully make some plays in the special teams.
Last question.
All right, thank you.
Good job.